Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to go through some lunar spells which still to this day pull in a decent amount of GP. Now, the lunar storyline and quest line is one of those things I recommend to a lot of brand new players coming back to the game to make that one of the big things you're going to target in terms of your first big milestone quest. Now, the reason why I do that is that nowadays the lunar spells and also the ones you get from Dream Mentor are so useful to make cash, as well as training your magic as well. I do think they're probably a little bit more important than Ancient if you're looking for that GP sort of side, but I do think Ancient also has some value as well. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is going through 3 of these spells to show you guys how much GP you can make with them as well. So the first one we're going to go and have a look at is going to require level 77 Mage, and it's one of the old classic methods. Now, it's one of those methods which is starting to sort of come back in terms of GP per hour. It kind of vanished for a long time. This is going to be Super Glass Make. Now, Super Glass Make is essentially turning sand and seaweed or soda ash into glass. And by using this spell, you get a chance to make more than the 14 you normally make per invo if you're going to run to the furnace, because the spell has a chance to proc and make more glass for the supplies you've got. So this is going to be a really easy one. We're going to go and look for soda ash because I think soda ash is cheaper than actual seaweed. So because you've got the spell, you don't need to just have soda ash specifically. You can just check the price between the seaweed or the soda ash, see which one is cheaper, and then go with that one as well, because it will be able to process both materials. Now, if you're going to do this at furnace, you're going to have to go and use the standard soda ash. You can actually do it at the furnace as well if you wanted to, but this is going to be a lot better, and we can make it incredibly quicker as well. Rather than running back and forth to the bank, we just set a preset and we just make some GP with that as well. Now, the glass we're going to create is molten glass. So if we just go and check the price of that, that's going to come in at 420 GP each. So in terms of raw costs, we're going to spend 204 GP each. Then we're going to turn it into molten glass, which is going to be 420. This is going to be one of those methods where making it quickly and making it in bulk is where you're going to make cash. In terms of runes, you're going to need 2 astrals as well as 10 air and 6 fire. Now, in terms of the elemental runes, I've mentioned it multiple times, especially with the lunar videos. The elemental battle staff is so worth the price, and now at 2 mil, you will make this incredibly quickly. In terms of this method per hour, we're going to make 8 mil per hour. So in 15 minutes, you will pay off that elemental battle staff, and it'll be worth every penny. Now, with a lot of the lunar spells, you're only going to need one sort of spell set of runes to go and cast the full inventory. So even though it's 2 astral runes, which can add up to about 800 to 1,000 coins, you're only going to need 1 for the full inventory. And we had 11 glass in there, and we've just gone and made 16. So we've made 5 extra glasses as well. So for a full hour of that, you're going to pull 8.2 mil. Really good method. Definitely one of the more older methods in the game where Super Glass Make really does make a lot of cash. Now, molten glass at 420 GP each as well is cheap. So there might be a chance in the future you can go and make a lot more depending on if the price decides to go up. So for our next one, this is a rogue one. And this is a method I've actually never done before. And this is going to be spinning flax using the spell for this. I do believe for this one, you're going to need just lunar spell for it. Whereas the Super Glass Make, you needed Dream Mentor to do that. So Dream Mentor is the quest which follows lunar diplomacy. Dream Mentor is a lot quicker than what lunar is. So it's definitely worth doing both while you're deciding to go and do this quest line. So for this, we're going to need 2 nature runes, 1 astral rune, and our elemental battle staff will cover the price for 5 air runes. In terms of the price for these runes, if we just check really quickly, we're going to be doing 1.2k per spell. And then this should hopefully do the full inventory, but it might just do 5. I know in old school it does 5, so we'll just go and test what that is. But turning flax into bowstrings is a money-making method as old as the game. It was such a banker for a lot of people to make a lot of decent cash a little while ago. And still, for your early level sort of crafting gains, it's still worthwhile doing. Flax, for whatever reason, 193 GP each, which is very expensive. So we'll see how we go from there. So every spell is going to equate into 5 bowstrings. So remember that. So really, every kind of spell is going to be about 200 GP each, plus the price of a flax, and then we can see how much we're going to go and sell the bowstrings for. They're going to come in for a price of 685 GP each, incredibly down from their all-time highs. They're around 1,100 coins like a couple of months ago, but if we're in for about 400 GP each, you're making about 285 GP per cast, which, again, for bowstrings is pretty good, and it's one of those methods where you just had to click once for the full inventory. You saw then it was going to do 4 actions for the inventory. But yeah, pretty decent method and a pretty good thing to get from it as well. Now, with the Lunar Diplomacy quest, that's going to require 81 Mage. And it's going to come in at roughly 3.6 mil per hour. So yes, Super Glass is more worthwhile. But in terms of this method, all you need is for your bowstrings to go up in price and also as well to slow buy the flax. Flax is quite a limited resource now, which is why I imagine it's that kind of price. But if you can buy the flax slowly over time and save yourself some price there, that's just going to be more profit for you in the end. But it's something which, if it spikes, can definitely be something where you'll make than the 3.6 mil per hour it is currently at the minute. So one more to go through, and this is one which was very, very good for a long time, but it has kind of dropped off a bit. And you kind of know why, because it's now on the Menophyte Guard drop table for anyone who's looking to go and do a little bit of thieving. So we're going to go and have a look now at Telekinetic Grind for Sandstone. So Sandstone is making a little bit of a comeback in terms of how much cash it's sort of generating. And it's a good thing, really, because like I do think that drops in terms of thieving were a little bit brutal. I do think things went down in price awfully quickly compared to like what it should have been. And because of that, one of the best money-making methods for a while, and grinding down into Shrine Sand absolutely imploded. So for this, you just need Lunar Diplomacy in 85 Mage. With all these magic level requirements, don't forget you can buy something as cheap as an Extreme Magic Potion to really boost your level up. And you can cast them. If you have the level even boosted, you can cast these spells. And it can be a really good way to go and train. I, for a long time on 7-Day Bond, used to use an Extreme Magic Potion for Sif Soil. And it was a really good way to go and train my magic, but also, like, I didn't need the level to do it. I could just use an Extreme Magic Potion for only something like 10,000 coins for 3 doses, so it doesn't really eat at your profits, but it just means you have access to way better money-making methods. Just use a pot to get there. So, essentially, for this method, all it is clicking Telekinetic Grind on the Sandstone. One spell does the full inventory, and then you get your resources there, which is going to be the extra fine sand. And then that is pretty much the method. Like, it's something, again, all these lunar spells kind of equate to going for speed. Speed is what's going to save you here. And we bought these for 60 GP each, and that was 1.2k invested. Yes, we need some runes. So 2 astrals and a lore rune is something like 1.5k, even we say 1.5k. And we actually transformed that into quite a lot of cash, actually. So probably about 3,000 coins into 15. Now, one thing I would say when it comes to extra fine sand is it's very random on how much sand you get per inventory. It kind of balances out, but we've made quite a lot of profit just from that one inventory. If you do this continuously for a full hour, you can make a decent amount of cash. Now, currently it's quoted at 6 mil per hour. If you hold prices, if you get a decent amount of sandstone for a very cheap price like it seemed like we did there, we got it for 60 GP each. When underground exchange price, it's something like 466. You can make a lot of money very, very quickly. I'd be interested to see how much sandstone's underground exchange for that kind of price. But again, these lunar spells are consistent. They make you cash. Once you've got things like presets set up, it's all about the speed and trying to be efficient with your banking and stuff. It's definitely more efficient. Now I've done it more often on the other accounts to right-click load last preset rather than going to the interface and then click one and stuff like that. That is so much quicker. And it's little things like that, which just means that you're going to be more efficient. You're going to make more per hour. And the more spells you can cast per hour with all these methods, the more GP you're going to make as well. But they're a great way to go and train your magic without having to commit to combat. And the Lunar questline is definitely something I would advise many accounts to go and start early. Just because having access to these spells is definitely going to be a way you can make some different niche money-making methods without having to rely on too much of the Grand Exchange to swing for you. But a lot of these things you've got in terms of the Lunar spells will benefit you massively when certain things come up in price. An example for this, Urns a couple of months ago went absolutely ballistic. I was able to sell something like a Hunter Urn for 45,000 coins. Because of the Lunar spell Fire Urn, that gave me the ability to go and make urns incredibly quickly. You have Super Glassmake spell. You also have NPC Contact, which is quite nice if you're doing things like Slayer. Humidify to go and turn like normal clay into soft clay. Really good. Telekinetic Grind can work for so many things. The Stringing Amulet, very, very good. So many uses for the Lunar spellbook, and still to this day, I still think it's heavily underrated compared to the sheer amount of value you get from it as well. But definitely one questline I would highly recommend. 3 very good money making methods, and we've done some of the other things as well. We've done Sif Soil, we've done the Fire Urns, the Make Clever is very good as well, but you do have to do a little bit of Livid Farm, which that's for another day. But 3 things where you can definitely go and make some money and capitalize on some very niche and low volume items. However, that is going to wrap up this money making video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, please make sure to leave me a comment. Subscribe to the video if you're brand new to the channel, and please like the video if you've enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.